Yo, what's up, everybody? Cova here, back again with another live stream with another incredible guest. But before we get into that, let me uh promo some stuff really quick. I would love if you guys would check out and sign up for my Patreon. My Patreon, on there you get early access to videos, exclusive videos, tutorials. I also post my daily pickups that I go every time I go to the comic shop, everything I pick up for that week. Um, it's only $5 to join. Even if you join as a free member, you also get access to a lot of posts and stuff like that. The only thing that's behind the paywall really is just like the early access to videos and the exclusive content, things of that nature. Also, go check out my website where I have all my comics. I still have some copies of AWOL issue number 1 and issue number 2 on the website, as well as some other comics that are up there for sale. Sign up for my newsletter so you can get updates on whenever I drop new comics and things of that nature. I also have a lot of free downloads. Like I have a sampler right here. I have a free download of my art book. I also have some other comics on there you can download for free. So all those links for all that will be in the description below. So now let's bring my guest on, Comic Ken. Yo, what's up, man?
Hey guys, this is Comiken, and yeah, I'm here with Cova, just hanging out.
Hell yeah. So, I mean, I've been following you for like a good like year or two now. I don't remember how I found your page. I don't know if I found you on YouTube first or if I found you on Instagram. But I've been pretty much tracking you for a good while. And like how has everything been since like I mean we talked again like last year, right? On my main page, and now
Uh-huh.
you were doing Air Rider 1 and Air Rider number 2, both the Kickstarters, and then now you're moving on to another comic called Saintly. So how has the journey from since then to now been for you?
Hard. It's been very hard, man. Um, yeah, going from like Air Rider, I started Air Rider, like I started to take it seriously and started to try to make a career out of comics seriously because I ran out of money. And
Mhm.
so I was just like, okay, well, I'm broke and I don't have any money and I want to figure out how I can actually uh make a business out of comics so I don't have to be at a full-time like 9 to 5 job forever. So that's why I ran the Kickstarters for Air Rider,
Mm.
and eventually somebody reached out to me to create my own comic called Saintly. It's actually somebody I've been in contact with for a very long time now, and after seeing the results that I got with Air Rider, they were like, okay, well, let's get up another level. Let's do something with this new project called Saintly.
Okay, so what is Saintly like about, and then what is the difference from working on Saintly compared to work on Air Rider?
I'm sorry, you said what was the difference of working on Saintly compared to Air Rider?
Yeah, what how has the experience been different between both projects?
Yes, Air Rider was a project that I did or started during school, like during my years at the Kubert School.
Mhm.
And that was more like, okay, I made my first comic and this is my first product. Like this is what it looks like when I actually do my best or try to make a full story. And I did 2 issues of that. I did actually do um a few like 30 pages of a third issue, but that's still in the production phase because I switched over to doing Saintly, something that I'm getting paid to do right now. So working on Saintly is like, okay, I got a couple comics under my belt. Now I get to try to use the skills that I've learned making those comics and make something completely new in a different genre.
Okay. Has it been like so is this comic going to be this is going to be a web comic or this is going to be a physical comic? What is the way you're going to roll this one out?
This I'm gonna start off as a webcomic.
Okay.
That's basically the model that I've always believed in, where You start off with the webcomic, put that out first, and then um, as people read it and get to know the characters, then you roll out the physical copies so that people can buy it once they're invested.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I think that is definitely a good model. That's a model that I did before I started like publishing all my stuff, and it is definitely something I want to go back to, like probably here in the near future, and like put out free stuff. I think giving out free stuff, especially since it's like we're artists and the writer, like it's not like we're losing any money by just giving it out for free. You know, it's just kind of like here you go. I think that's kind of like the best way, especially when you see things like a manga plus get deals or things on like webtoons and stuff like that. It's definitely like a good model to get like to cultivate an audience to come into what you're doing, you know. But
Right.
with Saintly, like what lessons from the first two books of Air Rider have you like translated into this book that's like either helped you speed up your process or your art style, or like what did you learn from the first two books you've applied to this one?
What did I learn from the first two? Well, I would just say from making Air Rider, like the first two issues of Air Rider, I just learned to actually complete something.
Mhm.
Um, I learned that it's not going to be a forever process, that it's not going to take forever to do the comic. I mean, it might take a long time, but if you actually complete complete it in chapters, then you can finish something that somebody can hold and read and get the full narrative of. And so with Air Rider going into Saintly, I learned not to make this huge long narrative that spans multiple volumes and issues or whatever. uh Saintly is going to be more of a contained story
Mhm.
that is um it's going to be a graphic novel when it's all said and done. This is only the first chapter that you're looking at, pages from the first chapter of it.
Mhm.
And it's once it's done, like once that first volume is done, it's going to be done completely, but the story itself will leave room open for more if people like it enough to have it continue.
Yeah, for sure. I learned that lesson as well. Like, in 2023, I was doing like a web series also on my website I have now, but I took all those pages down. But at the time, I was just kind of thinking like, okay, I'm just gonna keep busting out chapters, and then at a certain point, I felt like, man, my skills they're getting a little bit better, but I'm still not learning like drawing. I'm just drawing, but I'm not actually like studying really art and stuff like that. And also,
Mm,
I was like trying to make this big grandiose thing. And I mean, I was finishing comics, I was finishing the chapters, you know, but I wasn't really progressing, you know, getting better in the grand scheme of things. So I was just like, let me take a step back and let me start making little short contained, self-contained stories and see how I can do things like that. And then build up to doing more uh story arc, like longer formatted stories. Like when the comics I'm working on now, AWOL, I'm trying to format that as like 4 issue story arcs, and then just kind of just read, not like start over, but like it's still gonna be like serialized, but it's like you can read the first story arc and it'll be like a complete story, and then you can move to the next one and it will be complete. So that's how I'm trying to like formulate it go moving forward, so I don't have to like do like crazy like writing effort where I'm like having to plant seeds here that I had to recall and like chapter 50. It's because you don't ever know like because
yeah.
I've kind of get to the point sometimes where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of over like drawing this story and I kind of want to move to something else. So I kind of want to give myself
Mm,
room to do that as well. Where like I've been thinking about, all right, next year was coming up. What do I want to do next year? Right. So I'm gonna like write this the second arc for AWOL, and then I'm gonna go back to that webcomic I was talking about earlier, and I want to redraw that one, and then maybe work on some other stuff here and there. Whereas like it's kind of like amazing to think about now, where how creators can or will, especially back in the day, and even with manga, how they'll stay on something for such a long time and not get bored with it, you know. Whereas with me,
mhm.
is like I get so many different ideas, and I'm like, okay, I want to do this now, I want to do this now, and do this now. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I know you like during that time you were studying a lot of like books on writing and all those like theories and stuff like that. Has that helped a lot with this series and like incorporating those skills that you learned from all that study you were doing into Saintly?
Yes, absolutely. everything that I read is like when I was writing Air Rider, I didn't have even a fraction of the information that I have going into Saintly, and I've finished like certain books that have given me such a complete knowledge of narrative storytelling that going into Saintly, I think it'll have a much stronger story than Air Rider. And I have the people that are helping me, let's say, edit the story are so tuned into the power of storytelling that they're able to help me spot weaknesses in my writing where I wouldn't even be able to see them myself. And so I have a good team backing me up in terms of developing this story. Whereas with Air Rider, it was mostly me on my own trying to figure things out and put things together.
Nice, nice. So, so how was your experience working on doing the Kickstarter? Going back to your to Air Rider, how was that? Because I know you were big on like studying marketing and how to like run a successful Kickstarter. So how was that experience for you doing those two campaigns?
Yeah. One thing I learned about marketing in terms of like trying to get your first book out there, I learned from Brian Pulido, who did like Lady Death
Hmm.
and all his like Coffin
The
comics.
coffin comics, yeah.
Um, he said to if you're gonna roll out a new comic book, you want to start marketing it little by little for about a year and a half or so. And I was just like, a year and a half? Why would I do something like that? But that's exactly what I did with Air Rider. I was just like, okay, well, if he said he's the guy, so if he says put out like a year and a half, I just started posting on Twitter for a year straight, um, all the way up until March of the following year when I finally launched. And I took this program called Comics Launch.
Yeah.
I think his name is Tyler James, and he basically taking his program, it showed me how to actually put together a successful Kickstarter, set up an email list, set up everything that I need to make sure that this first Kickstarter goes off without a hitch. And I had no idea that there was so much that went into a Kickstarter because I didn't want to just launch Air Rider and just put it out there and hope for the best. I wanted to do it right and not get embarrassed by like bad results on the kicks. So I took this program so that I would learn how to actually put together the book, market it, put it out there, and get enough attention on it so that when I actually launched the book, people would be there to check it out. So that's what I did leading up to the first launch of Air Rider, and I tried to replicate that for the second launch as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I when I did my Kickstarters, I kind of was just like, let's just do it. Like, I saw like I
Yeah.
probably promoted for like 2-3 weeks beforehand. I set
Mhm.
everything up, which I didn't realize how much goes into like setting up the campaign as well. But once I got that, then I was kind of like, just going for it. And then because my initial thought was to do the first arc of AWOL issue 1 through 4, and then just do like draw it all up, and then do the Kickstarter for the trade instead of doing individual floppies, because I've been doing my first couple of tablings this year at shows and stuff, and I realized that like I did a couple collab books with other artists, and they're like thicker books, like trade size books, and those books were like selling faster than like the floppies, right? Because most casual fans or people, I feel like, are more drawn to something that's thicker than they would be a floppy, where you kind of have to be like careful with it and whatever. And then, what I'm saying, it can't just be like a regular book. And then also the price point too, like, a floppy, indie floppy is like, $10, roughly, depending on like the printer and how much you can get for your printing stuff. and then the trade is about the same price too for like the printing cost, depending on where you go through. And then like
Mhm.
you can market the same price, like $20, and that's still like roughly close to like regular mainstream pricing for a trade, you know? So whenever I was at the shows, I was like, well, my next show, I want to have the full 4 issues of AWOL done, but I didn't get a chance to like
Mhm.
I only had the first 2 issues done by the time the show that I ended up going to in August. So I
Right.
was like, I know, fuck it, let me just do the Kickstarter for issue 1, and then just kind of that'll be like my testing ground to kind of see how it goes, and then go from there. And then it was successful. I was funded in like a week. It was cool. It's super stressful, like definitely like the super duper stressful. Something I'm just
Yeah.
like super annoying, but it was definitely a learning experience for sure. So yeah, yeah, it was interesting. It's interesting like realm Kickstarter because you don't like there's no really, at least in my experience, at least there's no rhyme or reason to Kickstarter. I mean, I've been on Kickstarter like backing books and stuff like for 2 years, and you never know what's gonna make hella money, what's not, you know, unless they're like super duper established
Mhm.
person, or like they've been doing a lot of those art books for like super popular artists and stuff. But if you're not
Mhm.
in that realm with like a super strong IP or a popular person, it's kind of like hit or miss, no matter how high quality your skills are or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been seeing like you've been posting daily videos. What inspired you to start doing that on your YouTube channel?
Um, I think the thought came to my mind where I was just like, it actually is possible to make a living at doing comics. And if you just did the work or did the thing that you're scared of doing, then you'll probably succeed. Like you'll probably um get to that goal that you're striving for if you just take this step. So I was just like, okay, YouTube, I have more followers on YouTube than I have on any other platform. And it's something I've been on YouTube for 13 years. So it's been like, I mean, I can just start it and get good at it. And basically I was like, I can allow myself to suck really bad at making YouTube videos and just
Mhm.
gradually improve as I continue making them. Um and just learn as I go. And I thought, okay, if I just keep going when nobody else is willing to do the same, then I think I can make this work. I can make this comics thing a career.
Yeah, for sure. What is your like long term goals? Like, what is like? I know you like financial sustainability, but like, what else are you trying to seek and like do as far as like comics and moving forward? Like, have you thought about like what that would look like for you as far as like in your career and trajectory and things like that?
Actually, give me one sec. I have to mute something.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. And I'm sorry I missed the question. What was that?
Oh, so I was just remember saying like what does that look like for you to be like the success, like outside of like the financial stability, like what else are you trying to get like as far as like your career wise goes? Like what do you feel like is like your goals and trajectory to get to the place that you want to get to?
I would say that it would be sort of like creating a community of people who understand the vision that I'm going for with my comics
Mhm.
and who are on board with what I'm trying to create. And I want to talk a lot more about like the aesthetics that I like in art and also try to portray that in the comics that I'm making. So I'm gonna blend the two together um so that people get into my work by way of me explaining my love for a specific aesthetic in comics. And hopefully if I do this long enough, I can get to basically uh like the top of my niche, and be able to attract more people who would want to work with me and make even better comics than I can do on my own, or
For
even
sure.
animations, or games or whatever that I have in mind.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, like for me, like I started the YouTube thing about like 2 years ago. Kind of in the same vein of just trying to like build up a platform of myself and a brand for myself, and just like move people towards buying my comics and stuff like that. Because I kept seeing like like all the comics gate people and like all these other big YouTubers who would just come up out of nowhere with the comic book, and then they'll like here, and then people may buy it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, I can do the same thing as those guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? Except for like I'm not gonna do all the social like the what's it, the clickbaity racist fucking what is that shit they're
Mhm.
the what's that shit called they were calling it the what's it called wars, I forgot what it's called, but that whole like thing I'm just gonna do it in my own way where I'm just gonna just make videos about things that I like, and then kind of
Right.
give my maybe my critique on stuff, and go from there. And it's been working so far. It's definitely like moved over to people buying my comics and like checking out my stuff. And so now it's just kind of like just doubling down on that, making my videos better, and as well as keep progressively like making my artwork and my storytelling better as well. And so that's kind of like what I envision, and like what I kind of do is I kind of mirror or like mimic what other people that I see as kind of successful are doing, and then I just kind of just go from there. So like I started this channel, and like I want to start doing these live streams where I feel like one, I can have conversations with like-minded, creators and stuff like that, and not like try to get a Marvel or DC artist. I want to get somebody who's on the ground floor with me, and
Mhm.
coming up, because then like we can like share ideas and have these conversations where we can kind of like build on each other, like build upon each other's ideas, and then like take and what I'm saying. It's kind of like when you go like to cons, you kind of go to a professional, and you're like, oh, look at my portfolio and whatever, whatever. But do it like digitally, and then also I can help promote you guys, or whoever I bring on and stuff like that. So that's kind of like what I've been trying to like figure out. Because I mean, I had like when I first got it back into drawing and making comics, I had like, all right, this is my 5 year plan. These are my goals that I want to hit. Da da da. And now I'm hitting
Mhm.
like my 5th year, and so now I'm like, all right, let me next year moving forward. I'm trying to figure out what my goals are going to be for these next 5 years, and then just kind of go from there. And so I mean, so far, I mean, so good, and whatnot. But it definitely has been like an interesting journey, because it's definitely moved in different ways that I didn't expect. 'Cause, like so
Right.
yeah, comics are funny, are a funny and interesting field where like it kind of is just, I wouldn't say it's random, but it is also kind of, you don't really know what's going to get you to the point of like success, or like being published, or any of those things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so up in the air, like how you get to where you're getting. Like you see these people who are successful and you're just like, how did you even do that? And they don't even know. So it's such a crapshoot. Like it's just up in the air. And it's like I'm trying so hard to do or draw in a certain way, or draw the comics that I'm making, but then it could just be some random doodle that I do that I post up that everyone likes for some reason, and they want to see more of that character, and then I start drawing more doodles, and then people are like, "Oh wow, I love when you did this and do more of that." And I'm like, but I wanted to make Air Rider. I wanted to make Saintly or something, but they want more of the doodle thing. Like it's like you're playing to what the internet likes at times. Like you're just trying to draw what people will respond to.
Yeah, for sure. Like on Instagram, if you want to get like popular or get a lot of traction, you start doing like a bunch of fan art, and like you'll see these pages who are like straight dedicated to doing like Naruto like drawings or Dragon Ball Z drawings, and then like they'll get all the likes on those, and then they'll do like something original or different, and then nobody's fucking with it. So it is interesting because
Yeah.
you do have to like go through that whole like algorithm, war with doing something that you want to do and then playing towards the audience that's going to like give you the attention that you might need in order to sell a book and stuff like that. So it is kind of fascinating, especially like things are ever changing with these algorithms too, where like you don't know what is working and what's popping or what how to even get to these places. And I remember I was listening to somebody's interview and they were talking about when one door I think it might have been Scotty Young actually. He's like when one door opens up to get into comics, it closes right behind once that person goes through. So like there's no like way to become a professional, quote unquote, depending, whatever your definition of that is. Like for me, I don't think I necessarily want to be like a Marvel or DC guy. I think I like the older I've gotten and the more books and that I've been reading and stuff. I think I want to be like a graphic novelist where I like take like 2-3 years, make like a fat ass 500-page book, come out with it, and then like through Penguin House or Scholastic or something like that, and just kind of go from there. Whereas like, because I mean the monthly like floppy model is cool and all, but I think it plays to a certain audience of people who want a certain specific thing. Where yeah, I like superhero stuff and here and there whatever, but the older I've gotten and I feel like I've liked more like the slice of life stuff, the more like realism, like Craig Thompson's work or like Durf, Daniel Klaus, like these guys who kind of like do these more obscure like um artsy type stories that like can either be like cult classics or like super mega hits depending on like the time, whatever. So those are definitely things I've been like thinking about as far as just like where I want to go, and even like just doing like a web series. Like if I could just do like I have a website where I can just post my web comics on there, and like I get like to
Mm.
hell attraction, like thousands of people, and then go from there. So it is a fascinating thing. How has it been for you since like you went to the Cuber school, and like how has it been from there? Like have you like seen people you went to school with kind of like hit like a trajectory that you kind of seen that's like been successful, or like how has it been since like post college and all the artwork and making comics and stuff like that?
Mm.
And has your like what you thought you were gonna do at that point changed, like your goals or like your like what's the word I'm looking for? Like your thought process on like how to get to that place changed, to like whatever you were trying to get to as far as like success goes and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's completely changed, like, since graduating the Kubert school. Um, I thought in the Kubert school, I would be getting work to maybe draw somebody's book for, Image Comics or, some sort of indie side thing, like, I get hired to draw somebody's story versus or, like, come in as a colorist or just do some type of work for hire type thing where I get paid to bring somebody else's vision to life.
Mhm.
Um and I've gotten like color work and all that kind of stuff like since the Kubert school, but it's not been a linear straight line thing where it's just like, okay, I graduated and now all the jobs are flooding to me. It was more like I graduated, I didn't feel like drawing anymore, so I quit for a while. And then I was just like, okay, I moved out from my parents' place, and then I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna do all this other stuff. And then I spent all my money, and I was just like, okay, now I gotta buckle down and try to make this into a career. And so then that's when I got started, and I was just like, what do I have to start my comics thing? And then I had Air Writer, and I was just like, oh yeah, I made this during college. Let me see if people would like to purchase it. And that's how that started. Like I was just like, okay, well, let me try something with that. And yeah, that's basically how I got the ball rolling after the Cuba school. And it's completely different from what I imagined it would be getting into the comic industry. Like nothing in the comic industry is quote unquote like professionally done. Like it's not cut and dry like I thought it would be. It's not where you just draw the pages and then turn it in no matter what on time every time, or like turning in the pages every month on time. It's more like sometimes things just completely fall through, and projects don't even get off the ground. Even if you drew something for somebody, that project might not even go anywhere. And more times than not, it's money that dictates what gets created, um, than anything else.
For sure, for sure. All right, so I'm gonna flip the camera. I don't know if you have anything you were gonna, have anything to work on, and I'm gonna start working on this piece. I did this piece for of your character. I don't know if you can see it. Uh, it's Shorty with the
Oh, cool.
glasses. So, I liked her design, so I'm gonna flip my camera and start inking that, and then we can continue the conversation.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Um, Let me see if I can share my screen because I'll probably just continue working on your AWOL drawing here.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the comic thing is interesting and just kind of like weird. I mean, I didn't think it was cut and dry either. Like I kind of was just like my whole first like 6 months like doing stuff. I was literally just like soaking in all the information I can and uh like just kind of trying to digest that and see what people were saying and how they were doing stuff. And I think that's like really how I kind of found your channel because I think you had a video about like I think like the burnout and stuff like that. Or a lot of people that was like a big thing. A lot of people were talking about being like burnt out and not wanting to be like social media personalities and stuff like that. I remember that being like I think a lot of people talked about at the time. Here, I think I
Yeah.
can add your. Let me see. I'm gonna add you here, and I'm gonna remove myself, and then now it has your screen on there. All right, you talk. Oh, I can't even hear you.
Hello?
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let me see how I can do it where can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I wonder if they can hear you though. I'm so used I need to figure out how to use this thing. But
Right, I can hear you, but maybe you can't hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to I wonder if like let me see if the people when they watch the back if they can hear you.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen, all that.
It's showing the drawing.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you and everything. All right, perfect, perfect. Yep. So it's good. I guess I'm gonna see if I can adjust yours so I can see your screen a little bit bigger. But yeah, man, I mean, what's been also been interesting to see was like the American manga space. I'm not even American, but just like a lot of like because when I first got in, I was watching a lot of people who were doing like quote unquote like Western manga and like learning that whole space is kind of funky, because it seemed like a lot of them were just like younger people, like and then they were kind of like my critique of like that space is like a lot of those guys or those people they seem to really one like shonen a lot and then like when they're making their comics it seems like they're not really doing like the real homework behind like what it means to like make like a comic and a manga, like, I don't know if you get what I say. Like, I feel like it's kind of like this like caricature of what like a shonen manga actually is, or what it is, instead of like actually making like something. Like I remember when DD Mark.
Um,
What were you gonna say?
I'm sorry, which comic group were you talking about? Like the
Like not a group, but it's
American
just like there
manga?
was just like not. It's not a specific group, but it's just like people I've seen like on YouTube, like DD
Mhm,
Mark or like White Manga or like kind of like maybe like Young Wavy a little bit.
mhm,
Like those people in that vein, and not just them specifically. I mean, there's people like I remember I was following on Instagram and like even like on webtoons I was paying attention to a lot, and like it seemed like a lot of them had like the style skill and stuff like that, but like I'm talking about like the writing, uh, and things like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like that was kind of like my critique of it, I guess. Like what I'm saying. Like I don't know if you felt the same way, where it kind of like seemed as if they were kind of like caricatures, I guess, of like shonen manga. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, or if I'm like maybe I'm not
Um, no, it's just partly cutting out. I think
oh damn,
maybe my computer has a hard time running.
both things.
Yeah, let me save it for now and just talk. But you were saying with the American manga side of things, you're feeling like they're missing a specific element of the shonen that they're trying to create.
No, so like you like I kind of felt like some of this stuff was like really caricature esque, right? Then like some of the stuff like it's not this isn't like a specific person, but like even like when you go to like to Manga Plus, right? And you'll look at some people's works and it seems like they're essentially doing their best interpretation of a manga, whereas like if you read certain mangas like from Japan's right they have like cultural context to the things that they're talking about and stuff like that because it's rooted in Japanese lore, fiction, or like a
Mm-hmm.
social critique of what's going on in Japan, right? Where a lot of
Right.
those people they're reading manga and they think that's what Japan is like, right? Or that's kind of like their their interpretation of what a manga is supposed to be, where instead of just making like a story, you know what I'm saying? And then like much you get like example like when DD Mark first dropped his Ruthless Render, which I liked the artwork. I thought it was pretty cool. A lot of people compared it to just like Chainsaw Man or Don Don or something like that, right? Where he was taking like hella influence from a lot of things, but not actually making something of his own. You know, I don't know if that's something you
Mm-hmm.
perceived. I don't know what spaces you kind of pay attention to more as far as just like online com- um, comic groups. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like the indie people or like the guys who are just like strictly on Kickstarter and on Twitter, or the guys who are on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I don't know uh, how you feel about that type of stuff. You know?
Yeah, I was reading Ruthless Render since it like first dropped, and I was just like, okay, I like this better than JJK. Because
Ridiculous ass.
JJK just didn't have the level of story that I was looking for, and Ruthless Render it had that certain thing that it had a little bit of something that JJK was missing, even though it was taking inspiration from JJK, from Chainsaw Man and stuff like Don to Don. But I feel like that's how anyone in comics really like starts off, where they're more or less copying stuff that works already,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't necessarily have they don't understand already like what works. Like Neil Adams would copy, or actually what's his name? Bill Sienkiewicz would copy Neil Adams' work before he finally came into his own style in comics. And that was just because Neil Adams was the style that worked at that time. And I feel like what's happening in this situation with like American like shonen creators like DD Mark or White Manga, um there are cases where they're copying like the surface elements, not necessarily like getting into the depth of what the things mean that they're copying. um but I feel like that's the same situation with a lot of I was gonna say Korean manga. Like they copy a lot of that, the surface flash of anime and manga, whereas they don't have the same depth of a Japanese comic.
Yeah.
Um but I'm not sure if it's comparable. I don't think it's the same necessarily as what these guys are doing in America with their comics. I feel like DD Mark is like really insanely like talented to be able to do what he's doing right now
Same.
at his age. And the fact that he's able to keep a narrative of this long and put this many pages out is already insane to me. Like I would have just most of that story would have been inside my head and not on the page. if I was his age. So I'm really wowed by that. Um, and story is something that he can just work on as time goes on and improve at. And it's the same for anybody else creating that type of stuff in the mainstream, as long as they're willing to look past the surface elements of anime and manga and actually like turn it into something that is their own. Eventually they will come into their own and hopefully improve and make something really great.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I was definitely inspired by DD Mark, especially like his production, like the fact that he's able to just, or he was able to just go ham on everything. Like he's like the reason that I tried to like I like try to train myself to do the same, where I'm like, let me see how fast I can put out a page, put out a page, put out a page, or finish a comic, and things like that. He definitely, I mean, I think he's taking a break right now. Hopefully, he'll come back soon. But I mean, he got his book distributed through Dark Horse. He kind of went through the whole the web comic to like physical uh process, which I mean that is, and he's also like the reason I did the YouTube channel, a big reason for me to do that as well, because I saw what he was doing. I mean, even white manga, but I mean white manga's journey was a little bit, it took a little longer. Like D Mark kind of just reminded me of like a neo white manga, where he kind of like did the same thing white manga did, but then just kind of figured out how to do it faster.
Uh-huh.
And I mean he did it. I don't know, like, it is crazy to see that. I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, he's worked with like Viz Media and stuff like that, and I'm sure why manga probably could do. I mean, he's working with one other publisher from the Middle East. I don't remember what it's called, Sandstorm, I think it is. But I'm sure. I mean, he has the high skill level where he could probably just go to wherever and get work if he really wanted to. It's just a matter of
Uh-huh.
like, I guess what his priorities are as far as, he probably doesn't need to. I mean, he has um what's it called? Freaking Apple
Dark
Black.
Horse.
He's been working on some Apple Black. He's been working on that series since forever. So it is interesting to see like that space. I mean, I think that like the American manga or just like the Western manga space is like still kind of like young, still like newer to a degree, where like a lot of the
Yeah.
people are like I think we're like the older elk of that like generation of people who were able to like get manga as relevant or as prevalent as it is now. And it's even got way more prevalent. Obviously, like I'm sure you the same as me, where like back in the day when YouTube was having like part 1 of 10 of Dragon Ball Z episode, whatever, and Kiss Anime and all that stuff before, like those
Yes.
days. So that definitely influenced a lot of people. And you can kind of see it now where like a lot of the people who are younger, like Wavy, like young Wavy, who's like I think he's like 21, 22. He's kind of like honed in on that
Yeah.
for sure. But I mean, me like the older I've gotten now, I'm like I don't really see too much personally a delineation or a differentiation of like manga and comics. To me, is kind of like the same thing at this point. It's
Hmm.
just like the maybe like subtle cultural differences, but that's kind of it, honestly. So, what happened with the you and Nico's podcast, man? Yeah, that was a really good. I like that podcast when you had it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was basically just a time thing. Like neither of us had really the time to keep up with it and to keep up with our comics themselves. So it was like,
Mm,
okay, we gotta produce an episode, we gotta market the episode, we gotta edit the episode, and then do that every single week. And it was just neither of us had the time to really do that or the funds really. Like we got to a point where we were hiring an editor to help us out. And even that was like, okay, yeah, this is getting pricey and we're not seeing the
results.
return on our time or like investment. So it was just like, okay, we're gonna have to cut our losses here and just stop.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, it definitely is like if you want, especially like things like podcasts and like daily posting, like shit like that, it does require a lot of fucking time. Like I mean, I figured out with that's why I did the video essays, because video essays I can drop them whenever I want. I don't have to really like I do put a lot of time into it, but it's like all right, I'll take like 72 hours, like a weekend, and like all right, I'll record Friday, I'll edit Saturday, and then or like Saturday and Sunday I'll edit. and then I'm done for the week. And then I can do it once a month, once, or maybe I usually go for like 2 videos a month on my main channel, and then I
Uh-huh.
call it a day. And then once I got monetized, it was over with because um start getting a little bit of money and stuff like that. And so that really incentivized me to do it more, obviously. And then like that money I reinvested in like I bought this microphone that I'm using, the camera that I'm using for my webcam, and then now I have an editor
Nice.
for this channel. Like the money now I get on my main channel, I have an editor for this channel who edits like all of my like he clips up all the interview portions of our like live streams. And so that's definitely
Uh-huh.
helped a lot because I don't think I would have been able to want to do that because I I try to manage my time well, and whenever I'm in the middle of doing a project, just like I'm just gonna do a project and that's it. And I mean, I also do the video essays because it does bring in like a little bit of money that helps, with all this functioning and stuff. But I
Uh-huh.
will neglect that at times just so I can finish a comic and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, being a social media person is
Right.
definitely like this is a fucking mission for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of work. But the reason why I started doing like YouTube videos, or started doing this YouTube challenge basically is because you can move a lot faster on your own. When you're working with like two people, it's like we got to synchronize our schedules, maybe somebody's sick,
Mhm.
or like one of our internet is not working, and then we got to make that work. And when you're on your own, it's basically sink or swim on your own. You know what I mean? Like you can move a lot faster, and you don't really have to wait for somebody else to get on board with what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's why I do like there have been times where like I would want to like I do a topic right now, like, oh, maybe I can invite like this person to like give the input on this topic because it would be like interesting to have a different perspective. But then it's the same thing as what you just said is like I don't want to wait on trying to, coordinate with them and da 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 work my schedule out with them and things like that because like with the video essays, I try to always drop like my first video essay like the first or second week of the month, and then the second video essay third or like whatever fourth week, like the last week of the month because of the like the way the what's it called to set up like the AdSense and stuff, the way the payouts are set up. So like I want to make sure I get
Uh-huh.
like that first month's worth of like the views and stuff like that, and get the little bit of like whatever money if the video does really well, then that will all add up to that check that comes because they pay you like the next month. So like whatever I'm making revenue I'm making this month, I won't get it until November, and then that's how they kind of do it. I don't know if you're monetized or not, but so like I always try to like make sure I scale my stuff out to that time. And like if I can't get
Uh-huh.
a person, like I would have to like pre-plan the interviews like well in advance, and even that is just like a headache and a half because then I have to edit out, like I have to edit those interviews and kind of have it make sense and like add the portions into the videos, and it's just like, oh, this is a mission. So like I because it's faster for me just to edit all my own stuff real quick and then just put it out because I already kind of even have like my method down on how I edit my videos and all that stuff. But right now I'm in the process of talking to my editor, and hopefully we can figure out something to where he can start editing my main channel videos too. And then once
Uh-huh.
we can do that, then I will be a lot more faster, hopefully, and in better quality.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like that's basically the goal right now is to get to what's it called? Um Monetization, like uh up to 1,000 subscribers, and I think I need like 3,000 more work hours to get to monetized status.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that is it. You got to get like one video just to hit really good, like get like a video that gets like 10, 20K views, and then you'll be straight because that's what happened with me. Like um I think I had like two videos last year, or yeah, last year right before Heroes Con, do really really well views wise. Like I had one video I did up on I don't know if you know the manga Pipacho by Felipe Smith.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did a video on that manga and it did really really good. And then I did a video about Durf's Jeffrey Dahmer video, and that video did like that was like my highest viewed video for a while. It did really really good, like out of nowhere. And then that was after that I got monetized, and I was like, oh hell yeah! And then I've been doing off and on pretty well for the most part. I think YouTube personally, I think YouTube is probably the best platform for artists. Like if you figure out like how to like work it, because I think it's YouTube is like I think the most viewed streaming platform like out of everything. I think, or maybe like the most viewed like website of all time because about like how they've cornered the market of. There's no other competitor like website that does view videos. Like I think there was like Vimeo at one point or whatever the hell that shit was, but that shit didn't take off. Or YouTube is just like they're it. Like nobody's messing with YouTube. So like if you're able to like figure out how to use YouTube, even if it's not even like a lot of views, I feel like you can build the best audience on there. Whereas like on TikTok and stuff like that, you can get viral, quote unquote, like quick, but it might not translate to anything. Where on YouTube, people will more than likely buy your stuff, and then you can also put like a storefront on your YouTube page and all that stuff. So I've been trying to like hone in on this for like tenfold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same reason why I was just like, okay, well, I know I can do more through YouTube than through like Instagram and stuff like that. I mean, I think eventually I'll be able to do more on Instagram, but right now I think YouTube is the best like um pillar, like a good solid place to start building.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know, like Instagram, like I was saying earlier, like if you're not doing like fan art or some shit like that, or like you're like not doing anything like that, I feel like it's really, really hard to like build it up because now you have to do like the reels and stuff, and that shit is annoying. Like I tried to do that for like a month or so, and I'm just like, yeah, fuck that. Like I'll do like very like low edit reels, like where I'll just set up my camera while I'm inking something real quick, and then I'll just edit and just put like some words or something like that. But it really isn't really it doesn't amount to anything. 'Cause I mean, I've had a reel do very well, like, in the past where I get, like, 1,000 likes and 10K views and all that stuff, and it just was like, "Oh, that's cool," and then that was it. You get flooded with a bunch of likes and stuff, and then maybe a couple followers, and then it's kinda like, "Oh, that's it." I don't know. It isn't like it's just not. I just use Instagram as like a shit post and like to keep up with like people and stuff like that. That's essentially it. And like kind of follow my artistic progression. Like I can scroll back down to my feed because I literally started this Instagram that I have when I started drawing, so I could see like my artistic growth from the beginning to now.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of like fun. But outside of that, I don't really invest much stock into building up an Instagram following.
Yeah. It's I thought it would be like you post a reel and then you just get a whole bunch of followers from that easily. But no, it's not even that. It's like it's just too random. Like I can't figure it out. And there's ways to do it to where you can make it work, but right now YouTube is taking up all my focus, so I just do the bare minimum on Instagram. I'll still post like images, and now I'm trying to post stuff from Saintly so that people can get a better idea of what that's all about. But for the most part, I just don't know with Instagram anymore. I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, yeah, same. That's how I feel exactly the same. I was like, I don't really care. You just gonna just do whatever on there and just call it a day. Um,
Yeah.
so you've worked with Nick Patera on his Axe Wilder John. How was that? Like, I know you guys are like he's like your mentor, close friend. How was that? That relationship spawned and been for you?
It's been great, man. Like, we met back in like 2017 or 2018, I think. And from there, it was at a convention like near my house, and then I went to this library convention, and then we started talking. I showed him some of my work, like what I was working on, and he gave me a lot of help and critique, and he was um like just super helpful. And he said like if you're interested, like I'll show you how to draw, and I'll show you what I know and how to make things work. And then basically he just took me under his wing from that point on, and we've been working on and off since before I even went to the Cubert school. And then after I went to the Cuba school, and I'll just go over to his house, and we'll just draw together. And then he started Axe Wielder John and needed some help with some of the colors, and hired me for some of that. So I was just like, all right, let's go. And that was kind of basically, he was my foot in the door of the comic industry. And that comment about once somebody comes into the comic industry through one door, that door shuts forever. Like,
Mhm.
Nick Patera was my door into the comic industry. Like, I got published for the first time through him,
Nice.
as a colorist. It was as a colorist, and nobody else can do that. Like, nobody else can just walk in through that door, because I already walked through it. And now we're both in very different places in our careers, but that's just how comics work. Like, you just get in on some random stuff, and that's it.
For sure, for sure. Influenced you to go, like, to the Kubrick school? Like, did you, like, look at any other art schools, like SCAD, or I don't know any other ones that have a comic book, program, but did you look at anything else before you decided on that one, or no?
Yeah, I looked at other ones. I was hoping to apply for SCAD and try to get a full ride scholarship comic into their comic program, but that didn't work out. It wasn't even a comic program; it was their art program. But they had like a comic or graphic novel department, and I was hoping to get into that one. That didn't work out. And there was what's it called? Cal Arts. I was hoping to get to that, but that was too expensive, and there was no other like scholarship that I would be able to get into that. So the Cuba School was the only other comic book focused school in America, because the other one was
Mhm.
going to be in Canada. So it's like, all right, I guess I'll go through this one um in New Jersey, and I got the scholarship for that one. And I was just like, all right, let's do it. And yeah, that's how I ended up going to their Cuba school.
How was that? How was that experience for you?
That was nothing like I thought it was gonna be. I did a video on YouTube thinking like that the Cuba school is gonna be kind of like the tournament of power in Dragon Ball Super.
I think I might have seen that video you posted, like, it was, like, an older one, right?
Yeah, from a couple of years ago. Like, I thought
Mhm.
it was gonna be like, okay, we're gonna be fighting it out with our art, and everyone's gonna be like it's gonna be like Bakuman, the manga about making manga in Shonen Jump. I thought it was gonna be really hyper competitive, and everyone was gonna be like trying to become the best. And it was just not like that at all. Like, not even close. And I was hoping for that, because I wanted to like really like find other people who were super serious about art, and those people were there. And um I talked to them a lot, but most of them were in other grades, like higher grades that weren't even in my grade.
Mhm.
And it was hard to find people with that same mindset that I had. And I was just like, well, I mean, I guess I'll just, I don't know. I guess I'll compete with with myself, or I'll compete in my head. But it just wasn't like I thought it was gonna be. It was more laid back. A lot of people were more chill. It wasn't like about creating art. It was more like you had to figure out how to get along with people, and um a lot of the soft skills of um working with people who may be difficult to work with, or trying out things that you don't usually do. It was an interesting experience.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, that is definitely like once you get out of your like comfort zone of like being at home, living with your parents, da da da, and you like have to move over to a different place and get a job, and yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a big thing. You have to like learn how to like deal with other people and their BS, and
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Like this when I after I graduated high school and I moved away, too, I like to learn how to like take care of myself, and then I had to learn how to be an adult, and then have to deal with other people and not like get pissed off or annoyed and things like that. But I mean, did you like as far as like skills and like artistic like knowledge and comic book industry knowledge, did you like feel like you learned like a lot, or like did you feel like it was like worth it, or it was just kind of like yeah,
No, it was definitely worth it because the whole reason why I went to the school was to be surrounded by other people who wanted to get into comics and make comics. So I got what what I came for.
yeah,
I found those people um and basically I got what I came for, just being surrounded by other creators who wanted to make comics, who were passionate about it.
for sure. That's awesome. I mean, do you know anybody who like alumni that you worked that were there with you that has done anything professional, or have many of them, or are no?
Um there I feel like there's a few in my class who have done stuff professionally. Um, but it's really like few and far between. There's one guy in my class who was a painter. Like he I think he works as a concept artist for different companies. I think he's a freelancer. And it's not like the rest of them quit, but they're not actively like, yeah, I just don't see them online or on YouTube or putting out stuff that actively. So it's like most of them just are taking a break, or I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Um, some of them are trying to make it, but just don't have the skill or the level or ability yet. There is one guy who was in another class in my grade that he is succeeding. Like, he's actually making it work. He's a freelancer, and then he also had a book that he launched on Kickstarter that did really well, like up to $40,000.
Oh snap.
um yeah, it's called Frog Night. And
Oh,
so
I know that
he
book.
yeah
Yeah, I've seen that
so
on Kickstarter.
yeah, so he's doing really well. And he has a Patreon as well. So he's succeeding with his book and his like business partners and whatnot. And then I have another buddy who it was in a grade above me, and he's been trying to make it work for a long time. And he we actually collaborated on a story um in Air Rider. Uh, and he makes
Oh,
this
with the
story
alien,
about
right?
about a purple alien. Yeah. And he's trying to make that work too, but it's a struggle. Because he's always like trying to get his footing in the industry. It's not easy for him, but he's actually trying. Like, he's actually like willing to go through the struggle of it. I think most of the other people in my grade were like, they saw the writing on the wall. They were just like, yeah, this is too fucking difficult. I'm just gonna stop here, and maybe I'll come back to this drawing thing. But I'm just gonna, what's the word? I'm gonna be realistic and go get a job and stop trying to do comics for a living because this is too difficult.
Yeah. Do you think like when people like what would you consider like as a professional? Do you think like when people do like Kickstarters and stuff, and that's like their way of just producing a bunch of books, is as that professional, or do you consider like being published through Image or Marvel or DC or whatever the hell as professional, or do you just consider like the quality of the book professional?
Um, I consider quality of the book professional. Like if you're putting it out through Kickstarter, but the quality of the actual like art and story is professional, then professional. Um, but if you're like, you can be an amateur published through DC, and then just having that DC logo on it gives it some type of merit. If that makes sense. Like,
Hmm.
okay, maybe the guy's worth paying attention to just because they have the Image logo on their thing or the DC logo on their thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think, hmm, I mean, technically, a professional, they need to, if you're able to just, if you're getting paid off of doing something, but I would definitely think it's more of the quality of the work. I guess is more professional. I would consider more professional than the like where you're getting the book produced through. Because I mean, like even going back to Brian Polito, like he's doing all his shit on his own. Like Dolo just in Coffin Comics. I mean, obviously he was a comic book professional like in the '90s and stuff like that. Like and like working doing what not Vampirella, the Lady Death and
Lady Death.
Evil Ernie and all that shit. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, for me, is I think the biggest thing people could do is just finish their comic. I think a lot of people get hung up on like all that stuff instead of just actually just doing, the making the pages and shit like that.
Right.
Which I don't know if it's just like insecurities about your artwork and stuff. Because I mean, for me, even now I don't really care about like obviously I care about my art and I actively progress to get better. Like I draw every day and I study and do all that stuff. But when it comes to making a comic, I'm making sure I finish it, even if like there are certain aspects that once I'm done, I look back, I'm like, oh, I could have drawn that better, I can draw that better. But I always like have the mindset of just like completing something because I think that shows more than just like having like a being able to be a good draftsman. Because I mean, if you're not making comics, I don't see how you can consider yourself like a comic book artist.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the most technical definition would be like if you get paid to draw something, then you're a professional. Um, even if you have like amateur strokes in your work, if you got paid for it, then by definition you're a professional now. Um, and I still have to make that mindset shift in my own mind, like in my own, where I'm not a student anymore. I'm not like like I'm a professional now. I have to keep that in mind whenever I make something new.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, um, yeah, yeah. Like, what do you think when like? Because I know you've talked about it. Kind of sometimes it'll take you a long time to draw and stuff like that. What was like the thing that kind of like would hang you up on like getting pages done or like finish? Get like uh taking your process a little longer than what you want it to be.
What do you mean? I don't quite understand.
No, sorry, like finishing a comic. Like I know, like it might like I don't know how long it takes for you to do stuff, but I feel like maybe it might have been somebody else who like we were kind of saying like it takes you a good while to knock things out, like
Mhm.
productivity wise. Like I don't know if that is an issue for you. Like what do you think keeps you hung up on not finishing stuff, or even that, if even just speaking outside of you, like what do you think is kind of like a big a drawback from like for certain artists and things like that, like amateur artists from like finishing a comic per se?
Um, yeah, yeah, I do have a big issue with like speed because like even with making Saintly, like I thought it would just take a couple of months or I'd get to a point where I could do a page a day. But most of that is because I don't know the shortcuts that I could be taking to make it a faster process, or that I'm not willing to take some of the shortcuts that would make it a faster process. Meaning like um if I were to do it all digital, that would probably save a lot of time
Hmm.
and effort of drawing it, and it'll probably look better in some pieces, but I just can't let go of like analog drawing, or I can't let go of doing things on pencil and paper. So that's one thing. And that's, I can't speak for anyone else, but those are my main hangups with like speed. It's like, okay, I want to make this look good, and to do that I need to go slower so that I don't like make obvious mistakes, but at the same time I need to get faster so that I can put out stories at a better pace, so that people can enjoy it faster. um so it's always trying to strike a balance between those two extremes, where I'm like, okay, I know I need to go faster, but I need to make this look good as well. And basically I'm just trying to get faster while I'm creating the story, and just figuring out where I can do that. Just 1% faster every single page, 1% faster.
Yeah, for sure. How many pages is the first chapter going to be?
31, I think.
31. Nice, nice, nice. Do you already have it
Yeah.
like completely like scripted and plotted out, or no?
The whole story I got plotted out. It's not all scripted out, but the first chapter is all scripted out. I already drew it. It's all ink, and now I have to get it colored so I can put all the lettering on it and post it to Webtoons.
Oh snap! You're gonna do it in color also?
Yeah, that's another thing that'll take up time.
Yeah, coloring takes a freaking forever, man. That's why I don't color none of my stuff, because I'm just I just don't feel like I want to like even go into that realm of like learning how to color anything yet. 'Cause I'm still just trying to figure out just like how to like just draw and like what tools I want to use. So I just
Uh-huh.
like I rather just stick with just figuring out those basics, and I'll like commission you or whoever else to just do my
Mhm.
colors for like my pinups, and then even for my pages I'll just gray tone everything on Procreate, just because like that just makes more sense for me.
Right.
Like I understand like gray tones. Like I could understand how to color with one tone, whereas like with colors, it kind of gets a little wonky for me after a while. Like trying to figure out what colors work and what makes it look makes it look well, and dot dot dot. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I mean that sounds awesome, man. I can't wait to read it and check it out. I'm like when I was reading Air Writer, I really like your art. Like your artwork is really good quality, high quality for sure. Like it's very like with people who aren't like professional, like underground, like you like there's a lot of people who you can kind of tell they're still learning, but for me, I feel like you're definitely like professional level, like with your artwork. So I mean, I can't wait to see
Appreciate it,
what
man.
more stuff from you, man.
Appreciate it, dude. I'm still working on it. I'm trying to get to like pixel level, dude. Like I wanna draw like those pixel artists, because they are insane. But if I can, I know that I have like a certain vision that I want to convey to the audience, and if I could get to that like pixel level, that's what I'm shooting for. Um, then I feel like I could get across my vision to people.
Yeah, man. I feel like all the artists who work in animation are like the best artists because they can work in so many different styles and like formats, and like you can just tell whenever like you see somebody who makes comics who's worked in animation before, because they're like their lines are so clean and pristine and like and make sense, where they're not like wasting any time, wasting any space. They're just going straight to uh like getting to the point with their work, Like I
Right.
backed I think his name is Chad Townsend's Kickstarter earlier
Oh.
this year.
Uh-huh.
And he worked for Warner Brothers and things like that. And you could tell just from his work is just like pristine, clean. It looks like it could have been like storyboards for a movie or things like that. I actually talked to him at Heroes Con and showed him some of my work, and he was pretty cool, pretty nice guy. I actually got picked up my Kickstarter book during the campaign because he hadn't shipped them out yet. I think he had just got the copies during the show, so that was cool. I mean, he was a pretty cool guy.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking up his art right now because that
Yeah, I think it's Chad Townsend.
is
His
really
I
cool.
forgot the comic was what it's called. It's like a guy with like a ski mask on. It's like I guess something he was into when he was younger. Like a ID he came up when he was like a younger guy, and then he kind of just sat on it while he did like the animation industry stuff.
Right. Yeah, I hear the animation industry pays really well, especially like if you want to be a storyboarder.
Mhm.
But I never thought about getting into it because I didn't want to get stuck there. That's the only
Yeah,
thing. You're talking about the
yeah, I
Black
never wanted
Phantom?
to. Yeah, there you go. Yep, that's what it is.
Nice, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good comic. It looks good. I mean, he drew it, really well, and it's just really fluid.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, I don't know. I never really had interest in doing animation. I'm definitely like just want to do like comics. Like I'm really like the comics because I can kind of just like hone the ship, and like and just kind of just do my own thing without like having too much um interference with anybody else. That's why like I always feel bad for like indie creators who are just writers because I know that shit is tough, man.
It's
Like
gotta be.
like you have to rely so much on an artist and you're the one who has to put like you're putting yourself out there and if like the artist like flakes on you or like they take longer than you expected and then also you got like especially like the ones who do like kickstarters you have to get so much money to even like start the book like that shit is oh, man I know that shit is tough man.
Yeah, it's gotta be tough, especially for writers. Um I mean, but it's a double-edged sword for writers, I think, because um if you're just starting out as a writer, then it's hard to get off the ground. But if you're if you're successful as a writer, then you could be working on 6 to 10 books at the same time, and just
Yeah,
hiring
for
different
sure.
artists if you have the money. And basically, the artist will be bringing you back the cash. Like if those books are successful, um then you can pick and choose the ones that you'll continue to write and create, and then the ones that aren't successful, you can just drop them if you're the writer. um Whereas the artist has to kind of put their whole mind, body, and soul into the creation of something. The writer can afford to just, you know, drop a
Yeah.
seed here and there, uh and then see if it'll succeed. Whereas the writer or the artist has to kind of fully throw their whole self into the creation of the work, and if it sinks or swims, it depends wholly on the art and the writing quality. Like if the writing quality isn't there, then most likely it'll go away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the professional writers have it pretty easy because like they can definitely just jump from project to project and not really have to fucking worry about dedicating so much time onto one thing where like artists usually can only work on one thing at a time as far as like pages
Yep.
go. Like they might be able to bust out like a variant cover or some shit here and there, but like yeah, that shit yeah. But like as an indie, but specifically like like you'll see like these Kickstarters and these people and they'll be trying to like, oh, I need 20K to make this dream book and da da da. And then it's like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like get the shit into the deal if like things fall through, you know? Like if
Oh
like
yeah.
that artist doesn't like, come through. Like there's I don't know if Godhood comics. Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
They do like the antagonists and stuff. So um like 2 years ago they did a Kickstarter for volume 2 of their comic for an antagonist and I was like
Uh-huh.
it was like yeah, 2023. And I saw it and I was like, "Oh man," I was thinking about backing it, but then I saw the time for delivery was like 2 years. It was supposed to be delivered like this year. And I was like, bro, there's no fucking way I'm about to
Whoa.
back it. There's no way I'm about to back because because obviously the guy's a writer. He doesn't have like, you know what I'm saying? The books weren't even done. And I was like, dude, there's no fucking way. That's way too long of a gap. And the books haven't been done yet. Still, like, it's not done yet because the artist who had initially left, and then so now he has to find another artist. And I'm just like, damn, like that's tough. Like that was, I mean, to me, I think that was just a bad move. Like he should have just did one issue at a time and just kept building up instead of trying to go for a whole 4 issues and you don't even have a dedicated artist or partner to do it with. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Right.
didn't make any damn sense. I mean, to me, when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's no way I'm about to back a book. It takes 2 years to like that's ridiculous.
So it was supposed to come out this year, but it did not.
It's not even out. It's not. I don't even think he's even. I don't even think like because I'll periodically like go and like check the comments on like certain Kickstarters, and that was when I've kind of like been kind of checking up because I was interested in what their business like that whole godhood thing when I first heard about it. But the more I like research and kind of like that guy's business and stuff, yeah, it's kind of fluky, man. Like he like this goes back because he's just a writer, so he doesn't really have control of like timelines as much as I feel like he thinks he does.
Right.
And like a lot of stuff like doesn't go through, like his campaigns and stuff like that. And but he still makes money, like the same amount, like 20K, 30K. At least the last few I've seen, but it's like there's less and less people like backing, but he's still getting the same amount of money because maybe he's just up charging everything or whatever the fuck. But I just remember that being that the 2-year delivery thing was like a red flag for me to like, yeah, I'm not gonna back this kid. Like, I'll
Right.
wait because that shit doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah, it was like, let's see how this plays out first.
Yeah, I'll get it on the aftermarket if like, if it comes through and it's like lo and behold, obviously, but that's just like a big like that's a lot of dedication for somebody and you don't even have fully control of like the whole entire situation, Like,
Right.
I mean, you made 20K and you were expecting an artist to draw 5 issues. Like, how much were you paying the artist? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even understand how that was even gonna. I guess maybe he might have thought he was gonna do more. You know what I'm saying? Like bigger numbers, but I don't. I have no idea. Like the guy he's an interesting guy. He kind of seems very I guess like douchey a little bit. Like he kind of seems like he kind of like knows what's going on. Like he knows like he does like this. Like the another thing that he did, I remember that I don't want to go on a whole tirade on Godhood comics, but at one point he was doing like this is when I first started getting into like making comics. I was trying to like learn as much as I could, not just on the art side, but on the after side, like the marketing behind everything. Kind of same thing you're talking about, and like learning how Kickstarter runs and how to function and like format a comic and all that shit. And he was doing a
Right.
Zoom call seminar for it, and it was like $50. You can get the Zoom call, whatever. And I asked him before I DM'd him, I was like, yo, like, I probably won't make the Zoom, but will it be recorded? And so I can watch it. He was like, yeah, it's gonna be recorded. So I bought it. I knew I wasn't gonna make it, and then after it didn't pop up on anything. And I was like, I DM'd him, I was like, yo, like, uh, when is it gonna be uploaded? And he's like, oh, Zoom lost the files or some shit like that. And then like I DM'd him for like a couple weeks straight, like, yo, what's up? And then I was like, can I just get a refund? Get a refund or whatever? And then he's like, yeah, I'll get you a refund. Da, da, da. And then like after a while, I was like, I'm not gonna get this money back. So there's no point in me wasting my time messaging this guy. And so yeah, I was like, yeah, that's kind of shitty. Like I just lost, whatever, $50 or whatever. I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, so I've just kind of like been kind of like clocking that guy and kind of just seeing what he has going on. And recently he did a comic called Street Nights and it looked really good. And he did it with this artist that I've been following. And the artist recently posted like it was supposed to be like a series, but it's just now the artist is like, yeah, I'm not gonna work with them anymore because of creative differences and stuff like that. And I was like, damn. I was like, this guy's fucking up his whole momentum because he did good. Like he was like the antagonist it was a good concept, good idea. It got some good reception when it first came out. It was getting like traction and shit. But I was like, dude, you're like fucking up your whole entire thing. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know the behind the scenes drama or whatever if there is any. But like, I'm just like, damn, like you kind of fucked up your gold mine. Like you could have really had something good going, and it seems like it's gonna slowly but surely just kind of wilts away because you're not giving product out as much as you should. Because I think the name of the game, especially like indie Kickstarter stuff like that, you have to like at least put out 1 book a year or 2,
Right.
Because then people are just gonna forget about you and not want to support.
Yeah, for real. Like I was following them for a long time because I was just like same as you, just trying to figure out like, okay, how are they making money? What are they doing necessarily? And he um he had a lot of videos on YouTube like about writing and whatnot. So I had no doubt that he was like a good writer, and I'd seen some of the pages from Antagonist. So I was just like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. Um, but in terms of business practices, like he would have videos about like how to run a comics business and whatnot. But it's like, what are you doing now, man? Like it's not the math's not mathing, dude. Like and I've had not run-ins, but like uh little conversations where I'm just like, hey, there's something on your site. It's not working correctly, or oh, maybe this could be changed or whatever. And he would be like, yeah, okay, cool, thanks, or whatever. And it would just be just kind of short, curt. And I was just like, all right, well, that's that. But yeah, like it seems like it's on the surface, like it's working out. It seems like that on the surface, but I don't know what's going on underneath because Antagonist is a good idea, and I was like looking at it. I wasn't gonna buy it, but I was hyped for like, oh, this is a good idea that could be like something like The Boys.
Mhm.
Like it's interesting, and he's doing it. He's trying to get it put out there. And the other one that you're talking about, Street Nights, I was just like, yeah, that really looks like a really good idea. Like it looks like Power Rangers mixed with something else. Like maybe Teen Titans, and that could be a cool idea, but dang, I didn't know the I was actually looking forward to that one. I didn't know the artist on that one quit.
Yeah, I mean, I think they finished the first book. It did really well in case like 50K, but I don't think that's gonna go forward. So now I was like, well, if you're planning to make that into a series, you kind of have to now you got to find new artists, and maybe there might be like some IP issues behind it. Probably not. It didn't seem like the artist was interested in even like caring about like keeping up with IP or whatever. But yeah, it is
Uh-huh.
kind of like, yeah, I don't know. That is kind of like it's fucked up because you kind of just like I said, you kind of fucked your whole business model up. Just even just like with that campaign, like I was saying, like 2 year difference. You should have just did one book and just you could have had like I don't understand. And then you could have collected it all because you already had it done. You know, I don't. That doesn't make any sense to me. To especially like I said, you are not even the artist, so you don't really have control of the timeline in a real way. You know,
Right.
but I mean.
Yeah.
It is what it is. That happens a lot.
I
I feel like we're in the like that Kickstarter space where like a lot of things fall through and like a lot of people kind of don't come through with what they were planning on doing and stuff like that. It's like a big like it's not a huge thing, but when it does happen, it to me at least it kind of is like a very like eyesore. It's like damn, that's crazy that the guy kind of get made all this money and didn't produce the book or whatever.
right. Yeah, I've seen that case in a few situations where I'm just like, dang, they really just kind of went off with the money. Um and it's just unfortunate because it just makes it makes it harder for other creators to make their book work or get funding for their own thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like literally was all Indiegogo was, which is a bunch of like a bunch of scams. Like
Indiegogo?
yeah, like everything I've seen on Indiegogo was just like I never like trusted it because of like the comments gate thing, and I was like, oh yeah, these are probably some fucking scams. I'm not fucking with any of this stuff.
Damn.
But like, there was one guy I used to follow, and he was like, he's a pretty solid artist, and he like he did this campaign for this comic. I forgot what it's called, but and he I don't know how, but he like knew like David Finch and a bunch of other like professional artists, and they did variant covers for his book, and he did an Indiegogo. I think he had like around like 30 something K. He did pretty really well for his first campaign. And the big draw was like, oh, he's so talented, and he's like 18 and da da da. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and yeah, that book is not out either, and that's been like 2 years also. And I'm just like, damn, bro. And you're the artist also, like, but I think what he did was he tried to like get an inker and a colorist, and I don't understand why he did that, because you could have just did it all yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you really necessarily needed an ink. You could have just inked it yourself, or just darkened your pencils. But I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. That, like, when I
Hello?
see things like situations like that,
Hello?
you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, I cut out.
Oh, yeah, I
You
can hear you now.
said something. You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
The last thing I heard was you darkened your pencils or something?
Oh, so I was saying, like, I don't know why he got an inker. He could have just darkened his pencils, or he just inked it himself just to get the book done, you know? So now you're like
Uh-huh.
sitting on a bunch of people's cash, and you don't even have like you like essentially squandered all that momentum that you had with like you know, with the book and stuff, because you didn't
Uh-huh.
deliver essentially, because it's been like a year, 2 years behind or whatever. I was like, dang, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy how people don't think about what's logical and necessary when you're going into like making your own book and stuff, and like selling it to people. Because I feel like you have like
Oh.
one good time to like, you know, present yourself, and if you're like don't deliver or whatever, um, it's gonna like fuck up your whole entire uh what's the word, like your reputation, you know?
That's what happened with Amrock. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Dang. I thought that okay, I saw the campaign go through. I didn't know it didn't fulfill or anything.
Yeah, yeah, I guess because I followed him, and I would check the campaign like a few months after it was done, because I was like, I was wondering, I was like, when is this book gonna come out? Because I was like, again, it was another thing where it's like I'm gonna wait till it's done, and then once I get, and then I'll probably back it after that or something like that. And it's still
Uh-huh.
not done. I was like, damn, bro, like that's fucking nuts.
Dang. How many years ago was that?
I think it's like a year or two at least.
I wonder, do you feel like you would give him more leeway because he's younger, like a younger creator? Like, do you
I
think he
mean,
can come back from that?
I'm sure. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna care. Like in a couple years, like I don't like. I don't think it matters, but I think that it's kind of fucked up. I mean, wasn't it Rob Liefeld took like 50K from a bunch of people and then never delivered on the Kickstarter he did? So like, and people, I don't know why they still fuck with Rob Liefeld. So I mean,
Really? What the hell?
yeah, I mean, because I mean that's just how the internet is. Like, if you don't know, like if you don't, if it didn't affect you, I guess it's not like big news. And the only reason I found out about that is because I don't know if you know, what's that fucking company? Meadow Shade, like those guys, like it's like a guy and a girl. I don't know if you know
Metal
them.
Shade. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
about
they
them.
do like really, really good on them. And like I found him on YouTube like a long time, probably around the same time I found your channel and a bunch of other people's channels. And he was talking about how like
Yeah.
he did a video
Hello?
about you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, he was talking about how like Rob Liefeld like blocked him and his girlfriend on Twitter or some shit like that. Like with Rob Liefeld, like I guess he does that a lot. He would just like block you, I guess, if you like say something you don't like, or I don't fucking know.
Uh-huh.
Um and yeah, he did like he mentioned in the video that like yeah, like Rob Liefeld was like a scammer, like he scammed a bunch of people and like just kind of just got away with it. And it was like a lot of money, and it was for like some book he was supposed to put out and he never did. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Dang.
It's crazy how like they like you can't get held liable for that. Like on these campaigns, like how they just kind of like allow that to happen. Like they're not like the platforms aren't like they're just like, well, you mean you kind of signed up? This is what you signed up for. Like I was like, damn, that's fucked up.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, I didn't even know that happened. So usually like um if people don't know that that you did that, then people will just sign up for like you can come back from it just from ignorance, like people not knowing that you didn't fulfill on a campaign.
Yeah, yeah, it's fucking wild. Like, and he didn't even like explain anything. He just kind of just like, well, I made Deadpool. You know, like I don't know, like you know, like That whole thing. That guy. I don't know if have you like listened to like I don't know if you keep up with like what you keep up with like as far as like people online and stuff like that. But I don't like he like Rob Life has like a podcast. I don't know if you ever listened to it before, but
No, it's called Observations or something.
yeah, it is very interesting. That guy is he's a little kooky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of like I don't even know how to explain it other than like he's kind of like a Hollywood guy who's kind of like he like kind of knows the celebrities a little bit, kind of a little bit famous, but like he's not really famous, but he kind of like
Uh-huh.
acts like he is, and like I don't know how to explain it. And he like when his podcast, he talks a lot really fast and he jumps from like idea to idea constantly. Like he doesn't really stay on point very well. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a weird like I listened to it a few times because I was gonna do like I was kind of just trying to like do research for some topic or I forgot, and so I started
Uh-huh.
listening to his podcast because I was like, well, he was there for like the image stuff, and he obviously so I kind of wanted to get his perspective on stuff, but like he's just like I don't know that guy's he's a funky guy, man. He's kind of weird, and he also doesn't really get like I mean obviously I think he got like a lot of hate when he came up in the 90s stuff because people didn't like his artwork and stuff like that. But I feel like the shit like that shit was lame. Like people were hating on his artwork and stuff like that. That to me that was kind of like lame. But like all the stuff he does now, like the stuff he says like on Twitter and the way he acts about certain things, is kind of like it's like very questionable. I don't know. I'm a
Hmm.
questionable guy.
Yeah, I don't really follow him too much on Twitter, but I only see like uh what do you call it? Just a tweet here and there from him. But yeah, I don't really follow him that closely on Twitter.
I wouldn't. I
Um
don't even have Twitter no more. But
yeah, I use it just to keep myself on like multiple platforms, but
yeah, no, I lose like my brain
yeah.
capacity can only handle so much at this point. Like I just stick to Instagram and YouTube. That's it. Like I'm still trying to like figure out like Patreon and how to do that, but that's all really just me. Like I don't really need like I don't know nothing else I do. Just but like I tried to do TikTok for like a second, and I was like, nah, there's no way I'm gonna be able to figure this
Oh
out.
yeah,
But
fuck that. Yeah.
yeah, it was just like I don't even like the reels section on Instagram. Like I don't even go on that shit. Like I literally only go on there to like find like a viral like music sound or whatever, just like use that for like my videos that I'm gonna put out. But
Right.
outside of that, yeah, fuck that. That shit it's just like when if I hear like the same sound used multiple times on the same thing, it kind of just bugs the shit out of me. And I'm just like, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna uh do this. Like I don't
Yeah,
know,
it's
like
too
I don't have the
much
brain function
sometimes.
to do that. Just brain
But
rot. Oh no, I lost you.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you're going out, huh? The internet. That happened to me a couple streams ago. My internet was like I think it was like raining or something. My internet was like fucking horrible. I was like, bro, and I didn't know until after the stream was over and I went to go rewatch it to like find the timestamp to clip up and I was like, oh man, I did not realize my shit was all fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, if I were to I have like two internet things I can switch back and forth between. One of them works better, but it'll shut me out completely after like 10 minutes and then I'll have to switch back. So this one's actually the better one and even this one's not that good. So I just have to get a better internet connection somehow.
Yeah, it'd be like that, man. You live in
Yeah.
Texas, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm out in
What
Texas.
what part of Texas?
I'm sorry.
I said what part?
Oh, I'm in between Austin and San Antonio.
Oh, yeah, what part? 'Cause I'm from San Antonio.
Oh, yeah, I'm in San Marcos actually.
He's nice, yeah. I like San Marcos. San Marcos is cool. I would just go up to like Texas State and then just go like hang out up there after I graduated high school a lot. And then uh I used to go in high school I had a job working for a veterinarian company and we would go to like to the HEBs and like set up shop and like give low cost vaccines. I used to do that. So I used to go to San Marcos all the time back then.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a nice, just like chill spot to be at.
Yeah, small. It's like a college town, but it's kind of like quiet though. It's not like too wild or crazy.
Yeah, for real. It's got a lot of older people here, so there's that side of it where it's just kind of quiet. I'm in that. I'm next to the college, and even then, it's not that loud at all.
Yeah, which is crazy. 'Cause I remember like coming up, like everybody would say like, "Oh, Texas State is like the party school. You go up there and go to parties. They have cool parties." And I mean, when I went the few times I did, I mean, there was like kind of parties there, but I was like, it's whatever. Like it wasn't worth the drive coming up here. But yeah, I mean, San Marcos is all right.
Yeah, it's chill.
You grew up there?
No, no, I grew up in North Austin.
Mm, nice.
Yeah, came up here because the rent was cheap, so I was just like, all right, well, I'll stay here.
Sweet. How was your trip to Nigeria when you went out there? What was that for? Just like a family thing, or?
Yeah, it was a family thing. That trip was wild, man.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Was that your
Nigeria
first time going?
is yeah, first time ever,
Oh, wow.
and it was very interesting, man. Like they play by different rules over there. It's kind of like an open world, free roam over there, dude.
No, it's not. Yeah, I want to go. I want to go up to Africa at one point. Go to maybe to like Egypt or like Kenya or something like that. One of the more like modern areas, just to kind of hang out and see what it's like. Just live like some like West African parts of West Africa.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, that's probably like gonna be way later on when I get older, when I have some more money to do that.
Right. Yeah. That would be a very interesting trip to take. Um, but yeah, man, that your drawing is coming out really good, man. I like it. I like your rendition of her.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I try to like what I'm trying to do is like every time I have a guest on who has like a comic, I'm trying to like do like a rendition or something like a fan art or whatever like the character because it's kind of cool. And I'm really, I mean, I'm
Right.
excited to see what you got going on. I mean, the page you have that you've been posting and stuff, I've been seeing it. It looks super dope. So I'm like interested to see because I mean, whenever I first read Air Ride, I thought it was really really good. Like there were some sequences there that are really good, and it's crazy that you did like the coloring and all that stuff too. Do you like for when it comes to like coloring? Do you feel like you just have like a knack for that, or like is that something you've like studied really really well on, or?
Yeah, I studied that really hard, like when I was in high school. Because I was just like, okay, I know the vision that I want to create relies heavily on making good colors. So I'm going to focus on that and figure out how color and light works. And so I studied that exclusively in high school for a long time. And I didn't even have drawing tablets or anything like that, so I had to figure it out with like colored pencils and stuff like that, and that takes a long time to render because you're just like scratching back and forth until you get something on the page.
Oh yeah, I bet, man. Fuck. Like I don't know why, but for me, it's like I just can't. Like I said, like figure out. Like I mean, obviously, I haven't studied enough, so this is more just like on. Like if I studied enough, it would probably come out a different way. But like I don't know. I just haven't just put effort into trying to learn that yet. But like I can do
Uh-huh.
gray tones pretty well. Even like with markers, like I figured out kind of like a good medium, how to do like dark and all that stuff, just like the simple stuff. Um, so that's just kind of like where I've honed in on for sure, pretty much.
Right.
If you got like offered to do more color like work, like as like say you got put on to be like a colorist for like a series, would you do that or?
um I'm trying to see how I can balance the work on Saintly with doing other things. Like I want to see if I can get to a point where I'm doing a page a day on Saintly and getting those things out like a lot faster. And then if I can get it at to that speed to where it's a high quality and high speed, then I want to see if I have like energy left over to do other projects and like ideas and stuff like that, because this would take like priority,
Mhm.
so I could figure out how to put this first and make it as quick as it needs to be, and then see if I could take on extra work and complete that extra work as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of people who like artists who just do like a lot of freelance gigs. They do like covers for people or like commission work a lot. That could be like a I think you can do. I know like what's his name, like a Jim Food. I don't know if you know who that is, but he does a lot of that type of stuff where he does like a lot of covers and commissions work, and not even just like comic book stuff. Like they'll do like posters or fucking whatever the fuck, like just straight commissions for anybody essentially. Have you like looked into like that type of stuff of like I don't know, like the local you work at a college, maybe you could do like some work for them or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I got a very specific, important piece of advice from somebody else who was a colorist in the comic industry. His name was Martin Thomas. He does like double toasted like podcasts and whatnot. Um,
That's fun.
and he told me that if you want to create your own stuff in the comic industry, don't become a colorist.
Oh yeah.
And that was because like you'd just be stuck trying to make a living wage off of creating other people, like doing other people's work, and you'd be having to get so much work to keep up with making that money that you would never have time to do your own thing. And I'm slow at colors. Like I'm too slow at colors to make that into something that I would do on a consistent basis. So that's why I have to try to figure out how to do my own stuff first, and then try to do be a colorist if that's even possible.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, not even just like color work, like maybe do like posters for like things, or I don't know, stuff like that. Like I see a lot of people do. Like I had one guy on a couple weeks ago, and he does like he's a comic artist also, but he does like a lot of freelance like design work for like people. Like he did like a poster for like he would do like posters for like bands and like clubs. I think he did something for the Philadelphia Eagles recently. I saw him post
Oh
something like
wow.
that, like just like little shit like that, where it's like one like gig, like you do like a something for somebody, and then like freelance, like that's something I feel like is a good market for like art because it probably won't take you that much time, maybe like a day or two to like design it, send it in. Oh, do you like it? Cool, and then just like do a full version of it. That's something that I
Yeah.
would be interested in doing, maybe as like a freelance in the future. 'Cause I mean, I've done like design work like recently. Like there's just my one of my dad's friends. She had hit me up like a couple months ago, and she wanted me to do some design work for her, and I did. And then she hit me up again, and then she recently just did this last week. I did some like business card designs, like stuff like that. So that's like a
Uh-huh.
little interesting, like little side hustle thing. I mean, it's not something I promote because I don't really like want to put too much time in doing stuff like that. So I don't really like promote commissions or like doing any of that stuff because I really like making art for me is like a stress relief, and I don't want to do anybody else's shit. Like what I'm saying? Like, I don't like
Right.
need the money. Like I have a full time job. Like I don't need for me like making art is like my end of the day thing. Just like going to the gym or playing sports or like anything like that is just I want to do this for me. I don't want to do this for anybody else. I mean, I'm not if you're offering money and a good amount of money, then yeah, hell yeah, I'll do it. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna leave anything on the table, but it's like it's not something I'm like openly trying to promote.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. And yeah, that is something I would be into doing, like doing commissions and making like doing drawing work where I'm drawing and not just coloring. I would prefer to do that because I can exercise my drawing skills that way. Um versus just coloring, that would be more like I'm exercising my coloring skills, but I'm not drawing as much. And drawing, I feel like I could get a good result a lot quicker than just coloring.
For sure.
So I would be open to like doing commission work and design work, because that's the same thing that Akira Toriyama would do aside of making his manga and his art.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of like comic book artists don't just do straight up comic book pages. Like they do a lot of that type of side work, or I mean, you'll see it with just like people who will just go straight variant covers all the time. You know what I'm saying? They don't even do interior pages anymore, like Art Adams or people like that, where it's like they're like, I would rather just do that because less time consuming and whatever they have going on in their life at the time. You'll see people who do that stuff. Like David Finch, he was recently like that's what he would do a lot, just covers, and he hasn't like that Skin Breakers book is like his first interior pages he's done in like years, I think. So yeah, that's something that people I like maneuver to for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like that's after they get tired of doing comics and barely getting paid for it, because I think when they see how much they get paid just to do a single illustration compared to doing an entire comic book, they're like, yeah, fuck this shit, I'm out. And they stop doing
Yeah.
comics altogether because they're just like, I can get paid so much more doing a single illustration than doing an entire issue of a comic book and maybe getting paid over time. So I think once they taste a bit of that life, it's hard for them to come back from that.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I mean, and it makes sense though, especially just like, bro, why am I gonna spend all my time doing this and like not even get the results, or even get like sometimes you don't even get the recognition. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you're working for like a big time artist or a writer or whatever, they'll get like
Uh-huh.
all the recognition. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, if you work for like Robert Kirkman, like it's gonna be known as Robert Kirkman's book. It's like, dude, what? Like, I fucking put 10,000 hours on this
Yeah.
shit, and all he did was write a script. That's like super fucked.
Yeah, it's like I think Ryan Otley has gotten a good career for himself working on Invincible, and it's known for his art that he did. Like, it's known for the effort that he put in on Invincible. Uh so I think maybe like he's gotten lucky in that he's recognized outside of the writer for Invincible,
Yeah.
but that is such a fucking rare case that you can't count on that as an artist. Like, you can't count on some $1 million writer is gonna give you this amazing script to where you're creating this epic story that spans years and will eventually get video games and TV shows and all that stuff. You can't count on that. Um,
Yeah, I just think, man, the thing is, I think Ryan Lotley, man, his artwork was so profound. Like like his artwork added a lot more to the comic than it would have if it was anybody else. Because I think that was just his thing, man. He did it so well. Like even compared to like Corey Walker, and I like Corey Walker's work, but I don't think Invincible would have, if Corey Walker would have kept on the series, I don't think it would have stayed. Like I don't think it would have made the impact that it would have, because yeah, I just think Ryan Otley's work just fit perfectly with the story that Robert Kirkman was telling, and I think it even helped curate the story, like and dictate where the story was going to go because of the how Ryan draws and how he does like hyper violence really well and action scenes and the all that. I think a lot of other artists they don't you know have a lasting impact in that way. Like even with like The Walking Dead, like I mean, I like Tony Moore's when he was on there. I mean, he only did like 5 issues, but his artwork was cool. And then when it changed to the other artist is cool, but like it's not anything that's like different from a lot of other artists that I've seen. Whereas like Ryan Otley is like his style was kind of like, to me, it's kind of uh a Arthur Adams, Ed McGuinness mix, where it's kind of like in that
yeah,
ballpark where it's kind of cartoony, but it still has some realism to it, and it's like high impact, super, high action, and it just worked for that series. Where a lot of other artists, they'll come in and they might be good names, big names and stuff like that, but like maybe their style fits for something different, and it just didn't fit for whatever that story was at the time. But like, or like even like I think when Kick-Ass, I'm actually doing my next video is gonna be on Kick-Ass, and I was that series made me fall in love with John Romita Jr.'s artwork because I feel like his art style fits so well with that story and
Uh-huh.
what Mark Millar was doing. I don't know if you've ever read Kick-Ass, but like I think
I
it's
haven't.
kind of the same. You say you haven't read it?
No, I haven't read it yet. I know what you're talking about, and I started it, but I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's one of my favorites, but I think it's more like nostalgia than it because it was like literally one of my first comics that I ever read. So I think nostalgia kicks
Oh,
in when I like think about it. But it's definitely but the Ryan Otley thing, I think he definitely is lucky that he has definitely like gotten the fruits of his labor off doing that series. Took fucking
for
forever, bro.
real.
Took
Yeah,
forever for
yeah.
him to pop off.
No, for real. That's how things work in comics, man. Like, and that's if you're lucky. That's the thing. Like, one, like he actually told me his like he laid out his plan for how he's gonna um do his career like in 2017 or 2018. I met him.
Hmm.
And he said, like, yeah, what I'm gonna do is once I'm done, like, since I finished Invincible, I'm gonna go into mainstream comics, maybe do a couple of titles for DC or Marvel, and then I'm gonna take everyone who became fans from that stuff and then go back into doing my own creator own work, and then have a buttload of fans follow me back to creator own stuff. And that's literally what he did. Like, he made he did a run on Hulk, he did a run on Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and then and now he's doing Battle Beast, and it's at the same exact time where Invincible is blowing up and becoming a worldwide thing, and now he's got all these fans swarming into the thing that he's making now, Battle Beast, and it basically went according to what he said.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Like, if I ever was gonna go work for Marvel DC, it would essentially just be for the simple fact of garnering a bigger garnishing a bigger audience, and then just like doing my own thing because that would just make the most sense. And you even see that with like Daniel Warren Johnson. Like that's what he does. Like he does a lot of creator own stuff, but then he'll go and go to DC and do like a quick little run on this. Or most recently, like the Transformer stuff is what like blew him up. Doing the whole the first couple issues of drawing and then writing Transformers. It's not good. So I mean that to me that's like the smartest thing to do is make your own creator own stuff. I don't understand why a lot of artists don't write and draw or like work on their own stuff in here in America. Maybe it's just
Yeah.
the money isn't there. Maybe like it's not a safe bet. I don't know, but I feel like that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, a lot of creators should do that more often, like write and draw their own stuff. But I think it's because learning the skills it takes to write something uh is difficult, to say the least. It's more difficult than, it's not more difficult, but it's just as difficult as drawing. So um I think less people are willing to put in the time and effort it takes to something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, definitely if you want to be a good writer, but like if you're a good artist, you can. I mean, they did it literally. That's literally the whole origin of Image Comics is a bunch of good artists just writing a bunch of bullshit and then make a hell of money. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can just draw really well, you can. You know what I'm saying? You can figure it out. I feel like you can tell an A B story. Oh, I lost them. Oh no. Yo.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Did I cut out entirely? Like you didn't hear anything I said?
Yeah, like it went away for a second. It's all good though. Almost done. We
Yeah.
can wrap up here in a little bit.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
I was just saying
yeah,
like
the oh no, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say yeah, I don't think most artists want to put in the extra effort it would take to get good at writing, because that's like a whole separate skill that takes just as much effort as as getting good at drawing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And what I said was like, if you're like that great, like really, really good at drawing, I feel like you can kind of bullshit your way into making a decent comic, if even if you don't know how to like write very well. Like if you can just write a story or make a story that just plays to your artistic strengths, I feel like you can just kind of like bullshit your way. I mean, and like that's literally the whole first generation of Image Comics, where they were just essentially just doing a bunch of X-Men ripoffs, and they made all this
Yeah.
money, and like made a bunch of made a bunch of money, and then they made just like a name for themselves. Like I would say like Spawn and probably Savage Dragon are the only two IPs out of that first generation that was like semi original, compared to like what Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee and all those guys were doing, whereas there's a bunch of just like knockoff shit.
Right.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like for me, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start studying art, like I mean, writing seriously, just because I want to become a great writer as well as an artist. But like I wouldn't like I'm not gonna put too much stock into like, because I feel like, I mean, I I think writing is kind of, it can be just like a natural thing. Like like if you watch enough stuff, and like you can kind of get a feel for like how, like you read enough and you watch enough movies or TV shows. I feel like if you turn off your fan brain and you turn on your like intellectual like hyper analyzation of things, you can kind of see where things are going, and like learn those skills to like write a good story. Like I
Right.
don't think you need to
Yeah.
read, like, I mean, you have all those books, and I mean, I have a few books, I think, of writing, but I don't think you necessarily need to read a lot to just like learn to tell a good story. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody goes through stuff in their life. Like you can like say like a time where you fell off your bike, and you can kind of write a story about that, and like, make something that's just realistic and reliable, and relatable to people. I think you can get away with just keeping it simple, and then and if like, because I mean, at the end of the day, comics is a visual medium. I mean, we saw it with fucking Jujutsu Kaisen. That shit was a bunch of bullshit mashed up, and then and it made hella money like that, bro. That manga fucking pissed me off, and I literally read the whole thing. Like I was up to date with
Wow.
it, and I hate read it. Like I literally read it all the way to the end, because I caught up to it, and I was like, fuck, I'm already caught up. And if I stop reading now, I'm just like, just whatever, just fuck it. I'll just keep reading it. Read every single chapter live. Like I'm up to date with Chainsaw Man also. But yeah, I read, and I was like, bro, Jujutsu Kaisen is just a bunch of BS. Like there was no character development, no character arcs. There's a bunch of just like aura farming, and then you find out like the mangaka was like wasn't even drawing the shit for real. Like she like, or I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but like they essentially were like doing a bunch of 3D models and all this other stuff. Which, I mean, I get like it's tough to keep up with those deadlines out there, but it's also like, God bless, man. Like you could have, you know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck were you doing? Like it just wasn't
Nah,
good to me.
I mean, the 3D model thing, I was just like, yeah, that's what you got to do to save time. That's partially like that's necessary for
Yeah.
some people. Um, but the story quality is just like, yeah, I see what you mean. Where it can just be playing to the strengths of the creator's mind, like what they want to draw, what they want to conceptualize, and that's what they end up writing. And it worked surprisingly well. I was just like, how is this popular? Why do people like this thing? But they figured it out. Um
Yeah, man.
and
It has such great animation. That's why, man.
I mean, it was popular enough before the animation to like
Yeah, man. I mean,
make
yeah,
it
that's
into an
true.
anime. But I don't know if things are big these days because there's nothing else that's being published on the same level as, I don't know, classics. But maybe they're just putting out stuff because that's all they have. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I think it is definitely a lot of that. Um, I think there's like there's like a low key like a shift going on in the manga industry where a lot of the mangaka are like ending their series really fast now. Like they're not staying on for like 30, 40 years like Naruto, One Piece, Bleach and all that shit. They're like really like those mangaka are like I'm just gonna tell whatever page shit and then I'm off of it because of just maybe because they realize like the health reasons and all that stuff and it's just like tough living that lifestyle. So I think that's like a big thing where they're like, okay, this manga is doing fairly well. All right, let's capitalize as much as we can while the series is going on and dot. And I mean, the manga industry is just a bunch of BS, anyways. Like I saw this post where the guy who did Demon Slayer, like the movie did like the first movie did like almost $500 million or whatever, and the mangaka only got paid like fucking I don't maybe $1 million, maybe I don't even remember, but I was like, damn, like that
Wow.
breakdown is crazy. And I didn't really think about that type of stuff until I was watching this interview with this a comic book publishing company that's an independent one, and they were on the Breakfast Club. I don't know if you know what the Breakfast Club is, but like with Charlemagne the God, and it's like a radio show.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. I know.
Black Sands. You know Black Sands?
Oh, they were on Breakfast Club, really?
Yeah, because they went viral because they were on Shark Tank, and then they got like a Kevin Hart fucking what's it called? He like invested in their company and then on Shark Tank, and I guess they went on to onto the Breakfast Club because Charlemagne he's like a comic book fan. He actually has a comic book imprint,
Wow.
and so anyways, they were talking about it on there, and they were talking about how like Naruto is like $1 billion franchise, but the creator of Naruto isn't a billionaire. Like he doesn't own any of the IP rights really at all. Like it's all under Shonen Jump and Shishui and all that stuff. And I was like, dang, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. And I was like, even thinking about even like with Dragon Ball Z, I don't think Akira Toriyama had anywhere the net worth close to what Dragon Ball it was. And I was like, damn, that's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard that he sold off a lot of it. So he didn't make nearly as much as he could have.
Yeah, that's nuts. And then he like passed away, like, and he died young. I mean, he was only like 50 something, 60 years old. Like, that's not old at all. And so it's like, dang,
Right.
like you do all this hard work for all that, and then you don't even get I mean, he got the respect for sure. So I mean, that's good. Like at least he got his name and stuff, recognized and he's gonna be remembered forever. But it's like, damn, like I didn't even get a chance to like. I mean, I don't know why. If I don't know how much hard work he was doing at that point before he passed away, but like you see with like the Hunter x Hunter guy, where he did Yu Yu Hakusho, and then he's doing this Hunter x Hunter. He's like barely making it, to finish the series, and we might not even. We might end up, hopefully he doesn't. Nothing happens to him, but like, like Berserk situation where like Kentaro Mora, whatever, he passed away before he even got to finish the manga, and
Right.
so that's like, damn. I think a lot of the newer
Yeah.
mangaka are like, yeah, fuck all that. I'm not doing that shit. Like, I'm not trying to die on the board and only have one story to my name that anybody even like that I got to finish. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of creators in this day and age are like built different, and the editors are asking of different kinds of things of these creators too. Like there's more of a timeless quality to this is something I'm going to do a video on pretty soon, like just a quick video on it. But there's more of a timeless quality to like the stories of the past, of like the manga of the past,
Mhm.
or at least the ones that get like popular. But the ones that are popular like these days, they're more like popular for the moment, and everyone gets really hyped up about them and gets really heavily into them while they're popular. But then who knows how popular they're gonna be like later on down the line, or how many people are going to return to those stories. Whereas people are always going back to Dragon Ball Z, people are always going back to One Piece, people are always going back to Kenshin, or like stories that have like a
Shelf life.
heart, or like, yeah, like they have a timeless level of quality to them, to where people are going back to. But these, the ones that are coming out these days, I'm just like, all right, who's gonna remember this in a few years, when the hype dies down and something comes to replace it?
Yeah, but I think I think the industry is understanding that, and that's why I think they're changing the way they even roll out the shit now. Like you look at it now, they're not doing seasons for like the popular ones; they're doing movies now. So that gives it like a longer shelf life. Like Demon Slayer's gonna be around at least for another 3 4 years, and that shit's been over. It
Yeah.
ended like in 2019. They still have, and they're only gonna do movies now for the releases of everything. So that's gonna be like uh like I said, that's gonna be in the social zeitgeist for a couple more years, even though it like I mean Demon Slayer was cool. It wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't like horrible
Right.
compared to like Jujutsu Kaisen. But like that's gonna be around for a little bit longer. And but yeah, I mean I agree with you, but I think that that's just like a symptom of like today's society in general now. Like in the world, like we're the internet and social media has like made everything so like far and spread out where like somebody can be really really popular in one pocket of the industry, but you won't even know the fuck who the hell that is. Like somebody's popular for us to us, like we all might know who, like we knew who Invincible was and all that stuff even before the show, and nobody might have known about it. And then now they'll know about it, but they might not even know like the comic, or even know who Robert Kirkman was, or like what I'm saying. Like it's just like the level of like commitment to even wanting to know about that type of stuff. And then I mean, even like I said, like even when I was talking about the Kickstarters, like quality doesn't really determine anything at this point anymore. It just really depends on like maybe entertainment value, I guess. I have no idea, but like it is interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know what you're talking about, where it's more like, what is the most eye catching, or the most shocking, or violent, or sexual these days. That's what's grabbing people's attention. And then, especially with like what you mentioned with how they're rolling out Demon Slayer, it's something I've been thinking about too. Like, why is it years that we have to wait years for, like recently Chainsaw Man just came out with their movie
Mm-hmm.
for the next arc, and I was just like, Chainsaw Man came out, for the anime came out 4 years ago, and now we're waiting, just now getting a movie, not even a second season. And I know exactly what you like. It occurred to me basically at the same time you just said it, yeah, that will keep them in the cultural zeitgeist for years and years to come, because they can just keep stretching out the wait for the next season and the next season. The first thing I noticed, the first time I noticed that happening was with Attack on Titan, the wait
Yep. Yep.
between seasons on that. When I saw the wait between seasons on Attack on Titan, I was just like, man, that was a long ass time. But I hope this doesn't become a regular thing. And then they did it with My Hero Academia, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? Usually they
Yeah.
play it, they just keep doing it straight through
Mm-hmm.
until
Filler
all the
arcs and
material is
shit.
done. Yeah, they'll do filler arcs, but now it's just like, no, we're gonna make you wait. And then I thought it was a poor strategy, because so many people would be falling off in between seasons that they probably wouldn't be able to get their fans back. But no, it's more like they're finding new fans and younger viewers over time as they release the next season and the next season. I might have aged out of uh Chainsaw Man, but they can get the next viewer and the next you know, the next youngest generation, because they took years to bring out the next movie.
Yeah, I
So
think it
it
might have
could be
been like
genius overall.
yeah, I think it's like a symptom of like one streaming. So they're like, well, we don't have to like keep up with because you got to think about it. Back when we were coming up, all this shit had like 1 day a week to watch anime, right? So it was either you watch on Toonami or on Adult Swim, and that was it. And Adult Swim was like what, Saturdays, and then Toonami was Fridays, and those 2 days. So they had to
Right.
keep pushing episodes out to keep it relevant over here in the West. Whereas now it's like, well, they like animes is kind of like culture now. Everybody reads the manga or watches anime, or they kind of know about it now. It's not like a weird thing anymore. And then now they have like
Right.
Crunchyroll, Hulu, Netflix, whatever. So they can kind of like take their time putting this shit out. They know that like either people are willing to wait for the next season, or if they're not gonna wait, they're gonna go read the manga now instead of like just trying to get people to go read the manga, and by like putting out a bunch of episodes and like just diluting you, like just putting it in your face all the time till you end up finding something you really like about it. Now it's like, we kind of got you guys now that you like this one first season. Now we're gonna make you wait, and in the meantime, if you don't want to wait for the next season, go read the manga or whatever. So it is kind of crazy
Right.
how it's shifting. And then now it's even, I think that maybe that even might be a reason why the mangaka are like stopping, because they're like, well, I don't have to keep doing this for 20 years anymore, because they're just gonna keep rolling it out as an anime. And it is, I mean, even like as Jujutsu Kaisen just ended, but they're still making the anime for that as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it is
Right.
pretty interesting to see how that's going. I mean, a lot of the new stuff is definitely not like they're shorter manga series, shorter runs and stuff, but like they're not uh going away in anytime soon. So yeah, it is interesting to see how that's gonna work. I mean, and then I wonder, like, I mean, like what the American comic book industry is just a whole different thing. But I just think people care enough about American comics. Like the people who are fans of the superheroes are just gonna watch the movie and just wait for the next movie. And if they want to know information, they're just gonna go like watch those comics explain channels, which I have like a theory about that. I feel like those type of channels don't really bring in new fans. I feel like they just kind of teach people the information they need at the time, and then people just kind of like, all right, cool, I'll wait. Hopefully that information is relevant in the movie, like.
Right. I watch a lot of those comics explain channels, and I'll be watching and then I'm like, okay, well, I basically got the gist of it. I don't really need to read the comic anymore because they
Yeah,
just explain they
yeah, it's
explain
like,
most of the story. So I'm just like, what's the point?
yeah, it doesn't entice you to go pick it up. Like it just kind of gives it to you. If it's food, what's it called? Like hand feed you or
Fast food.
whatever, spoon feed you, yeah, like all this shit
Oh, spoon
information. You don't
feeds
have
you.
to
Yeah,
really,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you don't have to really like learn about the characters or. I mean, some people probably will get enticed to go pick some stuff up here and there, but I don't think they really like. Whereas like I'll see a channel where they do more of a deep dive, but they don't really tell you about the story. They'll do like, oh, look at this crazy thing. Like, there's one series that's out right now called Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I don't know if you know that series, but it's like teddy bears. They're like the bear animals comic, but there's like the main character is a serial killer. But she's like, it's like
Uh-huh.
it looks like it's drawn like a like old timey like child storybook. You know what I'm saying? Like
Uh-huh.
Arthur Berenstein Bears type style. And
Oh,
but the
okay.
comic is about a serial killer. The main character is a bear, but she's a serial killer, and everybody else is they're all anamorphic people in the comic, and it's super crazy. And I saw no reason I even found out about that is because somebody on YouTube posted a video about it, talking about the comic, and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" So I went and I went and picked it up because it was like, "This is a crazy concept."
Yeah. What is it called?
It's called Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, and the guy
Beneath
who
the
wrote it, he
Trees.
wrote and drew it. I think it's through IDW. Um, he was like a screenplay writer, and he was trying to get a movie. Not I don't know if the movie was for that story particularly or what, but
Uh-huh.
he was trying to get his foot in Hollywood and whatever, and it didn't really go anywhere. And so he ended up making a comic because he was an artist as well, and he's actually really really good. His art is really good. It's like watercolor, like super cartoony style, for at least for that one. And I was like, man, that's crazy. And so I mean, there is a place for like comment. I mean, at least I mean, I might just be the exception of somebody, but that video got like a lot of views, like a million views, and I'm sure that helped a lot. Even when I do my videos, I always try to like talk about something. Like if I do like a topic that isn't necessarily like a deep dive on something, but it is topic, I always try to like incorporate like a comic to talk about, so I can get people to go, read some shit, instead of just
Right.
like telling you what it's about, because I feel like this just ruins the fun about of the whole point of going to read comic.
Yeah, I mean, I want to check out the book that you just described, and that's like and you just gave a little teaser of what it's about. So I'm like, all right, well, that's interesting. I want to see what that's about. That's cool.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a jarring, like, and funny, like, juxtaposition of like, oh, it's like this teddy bear, but she's like cutting people, like cutting the animals up, and like, it's like a whole. It's like you say, it's like Dexter meets like Arthur, essentially. She's like very like uh what's it called, coordinated with her, the way she does everything, and trying to keep everything on the low, and not like people don't know she's a killer. I mean, the first, it's like only the second story arc, and it's really really well written. Like, you could tell the guy is like a writer, but then it's like it's crazy that he's like such a great artist as well.
Yeah,
That'd
what
be
the
crazy.
hell?
Yeah, it's like the next. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a Netflix show or something like that, because it's really really popular.
Yeah, because it's such a unique concept. You wouldn't even see it. This is one of those types of things that this is like the strength of American comics that you wouldn't normally see something like this in manga.
Yeah, for sure. Like, manga is definitely way more formulaic, and then I feel like they really hyper focus on one genre to go popular, which is like the shonen stuff, or maybe certain seinen
Yeah,
stuff. But most of the seinen stuff is like shonen adjacent, where it's like a lot of action, like Berserk or Vinland Saga, where
right.
like all the like slice of life and things like that won't get as popular. But I would give manga credit where this is something I always think about. It's kind of interesting where like in manga, there will be like sports comics that are really really popular, but in
Uh-huh.
American comics there are no sports comics. But sports are like one of the most popular things in America. Like, there's no basketball comic, there's no football comic, there's no baseball comic, unless it's like a biography of a person, like a Michael Jordan comic or whatever the fuck. I always find that interesting, how that happened. Like, how the fuck is there no comic book about something like that?
Yeah, that is so weird. Like, I guess we never saw much of a reason because it was so popular on TV, but yeah, I never really thought about it like that, or like where there's no sports comics in America,
Yeah, but then you'll see
and there
like,
should be.
yeah, there should be, but there's not. But then you'll see like a sports documentary would be like the best thing out. Like, whenever Michael Jordan did The Last Dance, like that was like a cultural phenomenon. Like, that was like the biggest thing out that year whenever it came out. I remember, but it's like, well, why isn't there a fucking comic book about that, or like, something like that? Like, but then you'll see like in manga, there's like a comic book about men's volleyball, and it's like super popular. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's the most random niche sport. Like, men's volleyball isn't popular at all, like anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But
Right,
like I understand like the soccer one. Like, the soccer is a super popular sport, like universally. But like that's and even
right.
like slam dunk, like that was produced in Japan. That literally helped. That manga, I've seen Hensley helped like bring over basketball to Japan and inspire like Japanese people to start playing basketball. Like, that's like that's crazy.
Damn. Yeah, it's I think it's because they're really good at not just like they're good at portraying all the emotions that go along with being in a sport,
For sure.
and putting that on the page and then conveying action in a really compelling way. So that they break down and analyze every aspect of the sport and make it interesting. Whereas in comics, you would just be in American comics, I don't think the creators are thinking that deep, and they also don't have the page space or the time to really do 30 volumes of a single sport where they're putting it out on a monthly basis, and we don't even find the people who be interested in it because they're already watching the sport as it happens live. So whenever they're trying to do like a comic about sports in America, it would just be like, oh, this guy kicked the ball and went into the goal, and then it's going to be about his struggles with his wife or something at home or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then I also don't think there's like a one. I don't know many comic book creators who play sports, so they probably don't have an interest in even doing something like that. And I think there's not much of a crossover with especially in America, where like especially like in the 80s, and there was like a big push like, oh, comics is for nerds, and then there's the dumb jock stuff, and they kind of keep them separated, and like at least in culture wise, obviously in real life that's not necessarily a true thing, but so I think that probably has something to do with it. Where in Japan, I don't know exactly, but it seems like well, what's his name, the one who did Slam Dunk, was a big fan of basketball. So, but even when it
Right.
came out, that's when like the NBA started peaking overseas. Like whenever like the 80s and 90s is whenever stuff started getting like telecasted overseas and stuff. So I guess it kind of worked perfectly in that time frame with like him making Slam Dunk, and with the prevalence of NBA over Japan and China and all that other stuff. But
Right.
yeah, hell yeah. But like I just finished the piece. If you want to check it out. You see it or no?
Yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, trying to get like the ghouls
like
and
how
the
you-
monsters.
I like how you put all the ghosts and stuff in the background. What's that she's holding there?
It's like her camera. I saw like her
Okay,
have a camera in there. Yeah, I was like
nice.
trying to go through like some of your videos and stuff, and like just get like some information on the comic. So I was like, oh yeah, they're making I seen you said they're like making a movie or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll try to
Mhm.
draw her at the camera, and then I liked her design with the glasses and the short. She looks a little tall in the figure I drew, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll scan it in and I'll hit it with some gray tones, or if you want to color it, I'll send it to you, and you can just whatever. Maybe you could put it as a pin up or whatever in the back of the book. But
That would be cool. Yeah, I would. Once I print it out, that's definitely gonna go in there for sure.
hell yeah, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for coming on, and giving me
Yeah.
time and all that stuff. I really can't wait to check out the comic, man. It looks pretty dope. Like the pages you've been posting and stuff, and the work. When are you expecting to have it out? Like, what is your timeline for it?
I'm gonna do like sort of a half release on my email list, and then what I want to do for the long term rollout of the comic is get at least 3 chapters done, like how they would do in an image comic, and then once those 3 chapters are done and I got my footing and I can create the comic with a certain level of speed, then I'll start posting it on webtoons and getting it out there, and then going as like keep creating the comic as I upload it online.
Yeah, for sure. Give yourself a good buffer. That would be dope, man.
Right.
Before you go, if anything else you want to plug or anything like that before we end this, let the people know.
No, I got nothing else. It's just my comic Saintly is a demon chase horror comic about 2 girls who have to outrun the demon loan sharks that they borrowed from. So it's kind of like K-pop Demon Hunters without the K-pop or the hunting. So
Nice.
that's that.
Awesome. Yeah, and all the links to Ken's stuff will be in the description. You guys should go check out his YouTube as well. He's posting daily videos, and all the videos are like either random thoughts of the day, some more thought-provoking stuff, some good insight on things that he knows from being working in comics and stuff like that. So you guys should check him out as well. I appreciate all you guys for watching. I appreciate you, Ken. I'm about to end the stream now.
Appreciate it.